This will be my next point of attack. A little rust hole in the wing. You can see there's the repair patch, the dent that I knocked out before. So it's my left hand side wing, and I've also taken this back to bare metal so I can lead load this inside here like I've done on the other side, and just cleaned up the post here a little bit. But before I can put my new inner A panel and then the outer on, I've got to fix this section. So I'm going to make a cardboard template around here, then cut out the piece of metal, bend it to sort of fit, and then I will weld that in place. Excuse the construction noises, they're building a house next door. But I've used a cornflake packet and I've left the edge on and torn the box so that the edge where it joins comes off as well. And I'm going to basically put that in there like that to cover the rust area. And I've made sure there's enough gap around the outside of the rust so when I cut out, hopefully there'll be no more rust left. So now I'm going to transfer this to a bit of metal and should have our patch. Cut my piece, measured the section where I'm going to bend, and I'm going to stick it in my little bender, which is the 5-inch bench vice bender, and bend this up. So like Trev says from Trev's blog, the way to do it is to really make your patch first, put it over the area, and then after you've got it all perfect, that's when you cut it out. And this really shows how you can use it. This is the way I'm doing it now anyway, is that because I've got my new patch over the section, I can now use my hammer to clamp it on and get the right profile, because it's a curved panel here. So I could use hammer and dolly in a vise and try to get it close, but the best way is, I find anyway, this is just my way I'm doing it, is actually clamping it to the body, leaving the panel in place underneath. So underneath there is the rusty panel, but basically being able to use it as a patch, I can get the profile exactly right, mark around it, scribe around it, so with a texter, so you get a mark, but then also scribe around so you get a nice clean line, and then I'll be able to cut it out and I know that it's going to work well. And I've actually put some drill holes along here to act as relief lines that make it easier to bend. So thanks to one of the guys watching who mentioned that last time. Thanks a lot. Here's my wing patch, which is basically attached to the old piece of metal underneath still, so I could mark around it and get the shape right. So now I'm going to cut this out. Okay, after a bit of a nibble and a die grinder, there's my patch. It's going to go in there. I'm going to weld it in and then clean it up. I've cleaned up underneath with my finger sander all up inside there, and sprayed some rust converter on the inside, and also weld through primer underneath, and I've sprayed weld through primer on the underside of my patch. And now I'm going to weld it in place by starting with some tacks, and I'm going to use my air gun to cool it down as I do it so I don't get panel warp. So there was my initial patch. piece of cardboard template, and there's my repair. It's not quite the same contour as the wing, but I can hammer and dolly that to get it as close as possible. So before and after. And the underside.